We're going to go to business now. Matthew's joining us here on set. We're starting with the US. Of course, as we've been reporting, just under 21 hours to go until the US reaches its borrowing limit, Matthew.
That's right. Now, it won't mean that the US is immediately in default. As you say, it's the borrowing limit that they will hit. It will be some difficult days and weeks ahead, if it goes on that long, as they try to manage their finances to avoid, in particular, a default on the debt. That's what's really worrying investors around the world. And as you've been reporting, we've seen one of the credit agencies saying this political brinkmanship has gone on for too long. They've given a negative outlook now to the AAA rating. This is Fitch that we are talking about, and they've joined Standard & Poor's, who've already actually downgraded them. Fitch saying, well, if you continue with this kind of behaviour, if you like, that's what might happen to you as well.
Markets getting nervous on how these talks are going?
Yeah, that's right. Markets were pretty concerned in the US. We saw them falling on Tuesday. Now, after those drops, we saw most of the markets falling in Asia in this Wednesday's trading session. But in fact, the Nikkei was one that managed to just pop its head above water by the end of the trading session. But the Shanghai Composite there in China in particular concern, that's down over 2%. Let's take a look at European markets and how those are opening. I can tell you that London, Paris, Frankfurt, they're all slipping back as well, particularly here in Paris, down by more than 0.5%, as you can see there. One other bit of news here in France as well is on new business startups. The number in September was an increase of 4.6%. That's a total of 46,000 new businesses created here in France. Well, that's a timely way to talk about our next guest, because we're going to talk about business startups, and in particular an award that's given here in France called the Ivy Award. Now, it's an annual award given to outstanding young leaders in the technology sector under 35, and well, we're happy to have here in the studio with us the winner of this year's award. It was given just last night, Gautier Machelon.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. Now, you run a posting website. It's called multiposting.fr. You post up job advertising and that kind of thing. Congratulations on winning the award. Tell us first of all a bit more about this company that you've set up.
So we are a company of 70 people at the moment. We have offices in France, Poland and Belgium. And as you say, we develop a HR software which enables a recruiter to post his job once and then to broadcast it on several job boards, schools, alumni, social network. And after, he can have some statistics in order to know from which job boards he receives some resumes. So he can save some time and save some money thanks to our product.
Of course, we've all just been through this big economic crisis, haven't we? We still are, some would say. I mean, has that affected the way that companies recruit?
Yes, obviously. I mean, if you look for the employment sector since 2008, it's been devastated. And I think when now company wants to recruit, they want to save some money. That's why we had to change our product and to market our product differently, and just to insist on how to make some economy to our recruiters. And it's mean now they use more free job boards, they use more schools, you know, and they try to recruit in this way and avoiding payment job board or headhunter company.
And you operate this website internationally as well, don't you? Not just here in France.
Yeah. In fact, we broadcast our jobs in 50 countries at the moment. And the goal of the company is to have 2 or 3 new offices every year in other countries. So I think the next one will be probably in Europe and then in Asia.
And one interesting thing that we've talked about a lot here in France generally is the fact that some people say the climate for people starting new businesses is not really very favourable. What do you say about that? How do you find it here in France?
I can compare it with the States, because I also co-founded a company in the US, in San Francisco. And I would say, to be very objective, that in the US it's more easier to raise some money. This is true. In France we have a problem to raise some money. But in France also you have a lot of subsidies. And I think it's important to say it. When you're a tech company, the States will help a lot your company. And if you want to build a technology team, I think it's very good to do it in France, because we have a lot of good developers. They're cheaper than in the US, and so we have a lot of assets. But I think people don't say it very often, but it's good to say it again. And you can create some company in France, and you can hire some people in France and do good business in France.
Okay, well, Gautier Machelon, thanks. Congratulations again on winning it, and thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks.